So today we're going to I've had a couple requests for the belly fairing, how I did it. There's actually a couple different ways you can do it. You can use T-splines or you can use the Loft feature. I think for my purposes, the T-spline didn't work as good. The end result was okay, but the T-spline itself didn't come out that great. So I'm going to do the Loft, the way I did it with the Loft command here. So the first thing we're going to do, let's hide the fuselage. Let's hide our horizontal and vertical stabilizer. We're just going to need the wing here for now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to press pull this wing out, and what you want to then bring back is your fuse. And you want this to be pretty close here, so you want to get it to where there's just a little space in there. So put the canvases. So you want a space between your root and where your fuse body's going to go, because you're going to use this sketch. You're going to sketch this, and you're going to sketch the fuse body. So that's pretty good. You just want a little bit of a space in there. So now we can hide the fuse again and come around here. Actually, we can hide these canvases again, and you're going to do a sketch on the outline on this face. So now you've got a sketch here, and we're going to project the outline of this. So you want to highlight all of these, and then it's going to be okay. And then you're going to see when you hide the wing, your sketch is still going to be there. That's how we're going to make the drawing. Okay, so you can finish that. So now you can actually, let's take the wing away. Perfect. So now I'm going to bring this up here, and you can bring your wing back in if you need to. But we're going to bring the canvases back in, and actually let's get rid of the side view. Well, we're going to need the side view. Let's get rid of the front view and the top view for now. So now what we're going to do, actually you can even get rid of your wing if it's in the way. We're going to trace this outline. This is going to be our next sketch, and we're just going to kind of go in here like this, and we're going to use a control point spline for that. So now we're going to create a sketch on the right side, and what we're going to do is we're just going to create a control point spline, and what we're going to do here is trace this as good as we can. So I'm going to start down here, and you really want to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're going to manipulate this anyway. So you want to just trace it as good as you can. You can make this very close by going in here too. You can do that. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. We'll just close it there. Okay, so now we're going to hit okay. So now you've got your two sketches. So let's get rid of this canvas. Now you've got your two sketches. Problem is, we're going to loft this, but the problem is if we go to the Surface tab and we create a loft, what's going to happen is you'll see you're going to get an error here. It should give me an error here anyway. Oh, it didn't. Well, a lot of times you get an error there, but you can see how, if we hit OK, you can see how kind of twisted that is. So what we got to do is we're going to need to add some rails in the front and then the back here, just to help, with that loft. So if we go back, now the other thing is, so when you're going to do your rails, if you look at because we use the control point spline, none of these points are actually on our surface. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a point. So we're going to edit this sketch. So it's a right click. All I did was highlight that sketch and right click it, and we're going to edit the sketch. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this point, and we're going to add a point somewhere, close to even with that point to smooth out that transition. So you're going to create and go to point. Now this is important. It's got to be on this line. So you got to get kind of close. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to add a point right there. Okay. So that's my point. So now I have this point on this line. I think I'm going to do the same thing in the back now. And we're going to get a point kind of right in here. Just kind of right anywhere around there. So now create a point. You go in here where it looks like it's going to go. You created your point. Now you've got this point. Now you can finish your sketch. So now you can actually, I'm sorry, we're going to go back to edit sketch because now we're going to put lines in. Okay, so now you're going to be able to connect this with a line. Grab your line tool. Sorry about that. I don't know why that did that. And you may have to turn this little. Now, I don't know why this does this. But here, sorry about that. You got to look discombobulated there. So you can snap to that one. But you need to kind of maneuver this so that point is out of that blue area. That's what I found. Now I can snap to it. Okay, so let's finish that one. And then let's move back here, and we do the same thing. We grab our line tool, we add a line there, and we add a line there. So now you've got some rails here. Hopefully what will happen is when we loft this now, these rails will help guide this, guide this loft. So let's go, make sure we're in the surface tab. Let's go to loft, and let's see what happens when we add the rails in. Usually, it should help us take away that twisty part. So let's add a rail. Let's add this front rail. And then it's going to give us an error, but that's okay. We still got to do the back rail. So now let's add our back rail. Let's see what happens. And there you go. Now, if you click OK, it still looks a little off, as it were. But if you were to bring back, your canvases, okay, we may have to add more rails. You can see it helped it quite a bit right off the bat, but we need it to kind of come down this way. So what we were probably going to do is add a few more rails. So I'm going to get rid of these canvases. And we'll go back to our fuse. Let's see where our fuse is. Let's see how that belly would look, though. Yeah, we just need it to be filled out on this bottom. Okay, so let's hide this fuse. Let's go back here. I'm just going to go back. Okay, so now you see. Now, the cool part about this is you can add as many points as you need. So now what we can do is we can put a point here and here, and a point right about here and here. So what will that do for you? Well, that is going to, I'm just going to go back to edit sketch. It's going to allow you to fill this in now. So we're going to create a point. And now remember, if you see this dotted line, you have to get very close in because it's got to be on your blue line. It cannot be on, see how it's there? It's got to be on this line. So let's see how we're going to do this. So we had a big kind of error right in here. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to add a point there. And that's good. And then I'm going to back out here. And we're going to turn this so this comes down. And you just want to add another point. And we're going to edit that sketch. And we're going to add a point there. So let's finish that sketch. Then let's do this. Let's edit this sketch. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a point. And what we want to do, we want to bring that sketch back. We'll have to find that sketch, but let's not do that. Let's get rid of that point. And so it should be in here. So let's see if we. Okay, well we know we had a point right about there. So let's just create a point. And let's put it right there. Finish sketch. Okay, so now, I know it's pretty close. So now you've got your points here, and you could go here, edit sketch, and let's grab the line tool. And let's, we gotta, remember, you gotta turn that down, and I do not know why that is. It's just, now you'll see it'll snap in. Okay, so now we've got our top rail. So now you've got a rail here on your top. Now we're going to do the same thing down here. So I'm going to, and I think it was like right around here. So we're going to edit the sketch. We're going to go to point. And we want to put a point right about there. So now you got your point there. And we're going to finish that sketch. And then we're going to edit this sketch. And then we're going to put a point right there. Right about there. And then we'll finish that sketch. Oh, sorry. Let's, no, we are going to go back to the edit sketch. And we have to put a, wrong one. Sorry about that. We have to go back to edit this sketch. And now we're going to connect these 2 points with a line. And it should look much better. And honestly, this is how I did my, now that one I don't know why I didn't have to move it, but this is how I did my belly plan, and it came out reasonably good. Because what we can do is we can edit this later. But let's see if this comes out. If we do a loft, from there to there, and you're going to see that twisty stuff. But now let's add our rails. So you go to the plus sign, put your rail in there, you'll get your error, that's okay. Add your back rail, and now let's see what happens when we add these 2 top rails and the bottom rail. It already looks way better. Okay. Now, why this happened, I do not know. We'll have to go check that out. But you can see now in the front here how much better that looks. Ooh, let's see from the front. Okay, and that's just because that rail went down, I think. And I think what we'll do is I'm going to manipulate those. But that's exactly the sort of way that I did it. And actually, you know what we could do? Let's come back here. So for our rails, let's get rid of all of these rails. I could just go back in the timeline, but I'm just going to go back here. Let's go forward. Okay. All right. So now what we could do is we could get rid of these rails, and we could actually use fit point splines. Okay. So we're going to keep those points on there. This point and this point. And we're going to edit the sketch. Right click, edit sketch. We're going to use a fit point spline now. And the reason we're going to do that is because then if we get one of those very weird, where it looks weird, we'll be able to manipulate this by using that spline if we don't like it. So on the back here, we're going to do the same thing. Fit point spline. Snap in on your rail that you created. And you see you've got your tangent handles here. So now I am going to do 2 more rails. I've got a rail there, so let's edit this sketch and put a point on it. Right about where we think we're going to need it. Okay. And I think we're going to put another point down here on the bottom. And this is just for educational purposes. I'm going kind of fast, but this is the exact method that I used. So let's finish that sketch. Okay, so now you've got a point here, a point here, a point here, and we still need a point, like, let's put it right here. Let's edit the sketch. Let's create a point. And it's going to go right there. Okay, so now we're going to create a fit point spline. And we're going to go from here. And remember, on this top one, you got to get it down so it's off. We're going to go from there to there. And we're going to hit OK. And then we're going to go from, we're going to get a fit point spline from here. And again, I don't know why that happens. As soon as we take it off there, it snaps in. And finish sketch. So now you've got your splines. So now the cool part is, let's see if that little weird piece moved off there, because it shouldn't do that. That's kind of a weird deal. But okay, so now let's do our loft here. Of course, we've got a bit of a sort of the weird. So now let's add our rails. And don't worry about any errors you get when you put the rails in, because as you put them in, they're going to fix, whatever error is there. Okay, now I don't know why that is doing that. I don't know why we're getting this weird thing down here, but now you can kind of see how nice that looks from the front. And it actually is following this curve, and that's probably what's happening there. It's just following that curve. But if we bring the canvases back, you can see you're already kind of in, and then you could attach your wing here. You could pull this in and you could meld this. But let's do this. Let's try and really make this better. So let's go back and let's look at these. So now if you click on that, right, you're going to be able to edit these. So I don't know why this one. Let's try and fix this bottom one. I don't like this bottom one. And I don't know why it's, well, probably because we need to move this point. Let's move this point like right here and just see what happens. But see what I mean? You can maneuver this stuff. And then let's go and do the loft here. Let's see what happens when we do the loft. If that fixes that little. But this is the cool part about doing it this way. You can maneuver this in so many different ways. Now remember, error, that's okay. We have rails we're using. Okay, what happened here? The rails do not intersect the profiles. Okay, hold on here. Let's see here. Okay, well, let's create a loft. And if it gives us that error again, no problem. We can change these. There we go. Okay. So now let's add our rails and see what happens here if we've got that little burble on the bottom fixed. No, it went more. Okay, so we need to maybe move this point up this way. All right, so let's move this point up this way and make it a little bit more down. Okay. Oh, nope. And this is how I did it. I just literally experimented until I got the loft that I wanted and the belly, and the belly that I liked. So I just kept experimenting with it. So you're just going to have to keep experimenting with this. But this is exactly how I did this. And if it doesn't, you know, if you get an error, you just have to go back and try to fix whatever, you know, whatever it's telling you. The loft tool can be very, very finicky, man. And I mean, it can be a pain in the butt. So let's see what this looks like now. So you get the plus sign and you're going to add your rails in. And okay, so it still did it. I'm not quite sure why that's doing that. It's got some computing deal, but you can see how this thing is really getting really nice. Now, the other thing that we can do, right, is if we put this in, we should be able to edit these rails. So if we go back to our canvases and get our front view in here. Okay, and we go to the front view and we bring back our sketches. Okay, so now what you have is these. So if we go to these sketches, we should be able to, okay, we want the front, we should be able to adjust these fit point splines. Okay, so here you go. Now, this one is where we had a problem. So I'm going to go here. Now you're going to right click, you're going to activate tangent handle and hit move. So now we'll be able to move this. And we'll be able to see, we can make that, there's the curve, pretty good. And I like that. I really like that. So you see now it's oh, we need a little bit more. Let's hit move again. Let's hit move here. We've got to make this. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's cancel that. Okay, so tangent handle is activated. Let's hit move. Okay, get something wrong there. Okay, well, let's leave it like that for now. We'll go up here, activate tangent handle, hit move. We should be able to move these. And you can see kind of, it's got to have a little bit more on the back there. And you could go kind of like that. And then let's just hit OK, and let's finish that sketch. Now, it should take your loft, and it should move that loft. But this is not, I don't know why that's not working. Let's do this. Now we've got, so you did your tangent handle. Let's get rid of these canvases. Let's finish this sketch. And let's go back here. Nope, don't want to do that. So it's giving me an error, but this is generally how I did it, and you'll see, you know, this is going to be a very good belly pan. So if we get rid of the canvases and we bring back our wing, and then let's bring back our fuse, I mean, you can see that's a halfway decent belly pan. Now, again, there is a little bit of an error here. And we can get rid of these sketches too. Let's get rid of these sketches, and you can kind of see in there now you've got a belly pan. Now it's only half of the belly pan, and I need to make this, but here is the one. Here's the one that I did using that method. And again, you just have to keep experimenting with the, here's the fuse belly that I did. And I'll show you how many rails I put in on this thing. So if we look at this, and if we bring back our sketches, hopefully I can show you. Oh, that's another one. Okay, hold on. I'm not going to save that. I want to get the fuse belly. I want to show you which one that I did. Let's see, this one should be it, hopefully. No, that's the other one that I did. Oh, maybe this is it. Is this it? No, that's the other one that I did. Okay, hold on. Gonna find it. I just want to show you the sketches that I used on it. I've got several different versions of this thing. That's the problem. Use mold with belly. Okay. With belly. Just trying to look for the fused belly. Let's see if this is it. I just want to bring back my sketches and make sure. I want to show you the sketch that I used. Okay, hold on here. Okay, yeah, this is the one. So let's finish that sketch, and then I'm going to highlight the sketch for you. There it is. So here's the rails that I used. And you'll see I just adjusted them all a bit to adjust, and I added 2 rails here. But you'll see, and that's why when you go to the front view, you'll see if you turn on the canvases. Now I could even do this more, but the problem that I was having was it wasn't working, so I was getting errors. So I made this one bigger. I made this one. I could probably make this one even bigger, but I'm not going to do that. So there, and you can see how close it resembles the bottom of this. So if you come out, get rid of the canvases, this is what you have. So I could make this part a little bit bigger, but I thought it looked pretty decent like this. So that's my video. You're going to have to follow those steps and just keep experimenting with the rails and, the shape you want. Use your canvas, bring your canvases back, especially your front view, right? And when you go to your front view, this is what you want. Now this line I could bring down more and make this even better. But I'm not going to do that. I think it followed the back really nice, and I think this one could have been better, but make sure you pay attention to this front one. All right, well, thanks for watching. That's how I did my fuse belly. Maybe I'll put the T-spline one up. It's actually really easy. You're just making a sketch of the outline here, and you mirror it, and then you just extrude the T-spline, and that one came out pretty good too. But this is the one I like. This is the one I'm going with. So good luck, good luck making it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If I can help you out, no problem. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.